Bechoros Daf Nun. When it comes to Pidyon Aben, we use 5 slime, or as the Torah calls it, 5 shekel. And the Mishnah says that you must use Monet which in the time of the Mishnah was the most prevalent denomination, the most effective. It was made out of pure silver. Ask the Gemara, but in our days, hundreds of years after the Mishnah was written, what denomination do we use? Rav Asi says we use Monet the same thing, which is 120 ma'os for the 5 selah, since there's 24 ma in every selah. According to Rabbi Ami, we go according to the dinar Arvi, the Arabian dinar, which is only 4.2 ma'os per dinar, which would equal 21 ma'os for Pidyon Aben. And according to Rabbi Chanina, which we go according to the Sarsio, which is 1/64th of a dinar tsuri, so all you need is a half a ma for Pidyon Aben. So just to put it into perspective, in our days, according to Rashi, 1 selah equals 14.16 grams of silver, for a total of 70 grams of silver for Pidyon Aben, approximately. According to the Gaonim, 1 selah equals 17 grams of silver, for a total of approximately 85 grams of silver. And according to the Chazon Ish, a selah equals 19.2 grams of silver, for a total of 96 grams of silver. So according to the Chazon Ish, 96 grams of silver is approximately 96 shekel in our days, which is about $26. So Pidyon Aben will cost you $26. According to Rabbi Ami, it will cost you about $17. And according to Rav Chanina, it will cost you just around 10 cents, 40 agurot. It's interesting to note that the Ramban, at the end of Chumash, he writes that he held like the Gaonim, that a gram of silver, a selah, was 17 grams. Until he went to Eretz Yisrael and he found the shekel HaKodesh and he weighed it himself, and he saw that Rashi is 100% right, that a shekel was 14.16 grams per selah. And that's why he retracted his shita, although most of the Achronim paskin like the Gaonim. Rabbi Yochanan holds like Rav Asi, that we go by Money Tsuri today. He says, how do you do it? You take this dinar zav, this golden coin adrani, and you change it into 25 dinarim today. But all we need is 20 dinar. Every selah has 4 dinar and 5 slime is 20 dinar. So what do? You have to take off a sixth. Says Rabbi Yochanan, how do you take off a sixth? The problem is a sixth of 25 is 4.4 and a sixth. If you take a 4 and a sixth off of 25, you're left with 20 and 5/6. So the Gemara finally says what you do is you take off from the 25, you take off 1 zuz, now you're left with 24. When you have 24, you take off a sixth of 24, and now you're left with 20. How much is 20? What does that equal in Arabian dinarim? Says the Gemara, it equals 28 and 4/7. But the Gemara doesn't say it in that kind of language. It doesn't have fractions like that, 28 and 4/7. So what the Gemara says is it's 28 and a half plus a half of a sixth, meaning a 12th. But they didn't have those fractions, they call it a half of a sixth. So it's 28 and a half plus a half of a sixth would equal close to 28 and 4/7. Rava says that when the Torah talks about a shekel, it's not 4 dinar, it's 3.3. And that's what's 20 ma'os. Later on, they added and they made it 4 dinarim. Like you see, the Gemara says, when you redeem a karka, and if you have 49 years left to it, so what you do is you give a selah for every year. The Torah says you have to redeem it for 50 selah, and it's 49 years. So what do? You give a selah plus a punyon. The issue is that there's only 48 punyons per selah, so it comes out that you're giving 49, 50 plus 1 punyon. So therefore, we have to say that that is going after they added the amount, and it fits into Rava. The Gemara says a story, Rav Ashi thought like Rava, that the shear is 3.3. So 3.3 times 5 selah would equal 16.66. So he sent his Talmud, he sent him 17. And he said, I want change. Give me a third back. So his Talmud said, no. The prices went up. Pidyon Aben is more. It's 4. So 5 selah times 4 is 20. You only gave me 17. Please send me another 3. The Gemara says that they wanted to cancel all the money in Yerushalayim because Hadrianus and Tarianus, they went into the Beis Hamikdash and they stole the gold, and they took the gold and they made coins with depicting their faces on it. but the gold coins that they stole from the Beis Hamikdash are kodesh, and it went into the circulation. The kodesh went into the circulation. You shouldn't be able to use money. Says the Gemara, yes, but they found a pasuk where it says paritzim v'chilalu, but paritzim v'chilalu. Once the goyim came and they were mechalal, they took away the kedusha from the money, and you're not over ha'meila once you use the money. Says Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Ravasi that all money in the Torah that has a specific amount, like the 30 for a slave that's killed, or 100 of Moitzi Shemra, etc., then it's in kesef. It has to be specific. The kesef, shekel kesef. But when the Torah doesn't specify the amount, it could be any kind of money. It doesn't have to be dafka the silver. It could be even copper. For instance, by Moed b'miktas that it's 2 kesef, then the Torah specifically says that it should be similar to kalim. It should be davar chashav. So it could be even prutas. Pidyon ma'aser sheni. Also, when you pay your fruit to bring up to Yerushalayim, you do it with copper. Hegdish, you could be mechalel hegdish on a pruta. It's even copper, and you mekadesh a woman, like we all know. We pass like Basil, the pruta doesn't have to be silver. But with the Rabbanon, a sela is a sela medina, which is 1/8 of the sela tzuri that our mission is talking about. And finally, with an incredible story from Chanan Bisha, there's a bad guy called Chanan who smacked his friend. And if you smack your friend, you have to pay a half a sela, which is also a derabanan sela, the Rabbanan amount. So he came and he gave a sela, which was basically an old sela, which nobody wanted to give change for it. So he gave it to the guy that he hit, and he says, "Here's your sela, give me change." The guy says, "I don't want to give you change. I'm not mechuyev to give you change." So he said, "Okay, I have an idea," and he smacked him again. And he said, "Okay, now I owe you a full sela. Here's your sela. Have a wonderful day."